Good morning, everyone. My name is Estella. I am with Sterling's HSA department. Thank you for taking the time today to join us for our individual account holder webinar. Today we will go over what an individual account online looks like. We will go over logging in, retrieving a verification code, making contributions to the account, making disbursements out of the account, updating your personal information on the account, retrieving activity and tax statements. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them through our questions box, and one of our representatives will assist you with your question. So when you first go to our web page, our home page, we'll have the picture of a family on there. If you are logging into your online access because your account has already been set up, if you haven't registered for online access yet, you still would click on the login button. So whether you're going to register for online access for the first time or you're logging in, you would click login. You would not click enroll now. From the login screen, there will be either the option for you to enter your username and password or a register button where you can register for your online access so that you can start using your online access. Please note that when you do register for the online access, you are automatically enrolled in e-statements because you can go in and run them at any time for whatever date range you wish. So we no longer will mail you your quarterly statement. To register, you would click the blue button. You want to make sure that if you're an individual account holder registering for online access, this member tab here is orange, and you will be prompted to enter your account number, your social, your date of birth, and then you'll be asked to create your username and password. And this password reminder question is the question that we will ask you to reset your password. So you would want to make sure that under the password reminder answer, you're entering the answer for the question above. And once you register, you will receive a confirmation email, and once you confirm your email address, you will be ready to log in. And if you are logging in for the first time from a specific browser or computer, you will be prompted to receive a verification code. And you would select email, or if we already have a cell phone on file for you, you'll also see an SMS text message option. Our system automatically checks the do not ask me again on this device box. However, if you're on a public computer or you are wanting to make sure that you are asked for that code every time, you want to go ahead and uncheck the box. And then we check our email for our code. So it's 784822. We enter that here. And then click submit. And now we are on our online access page. Because I have several different accounts, I will see them under portfolio on the first page when I first log in. For our purposes, we are only working with HSA, so we will click the view account button here under the HSA account box. And this takes me to the account summary page for my HSA. Here I'll see my account number, the HSA plan type I have, my plan's effective date, my account balance, my available balance. And on the left, I have a navigation menu. So let's say that I want to go ahead and make a contribution. First, I would go to Add Update Bank Account. This will show me if I have any bank accounts listed. If I don't, then I would go ahead and click the Add New Bank Account. Enter the bank's name. And enter the account number. And so if I made entered that invalid routing number, it's letting me know that the routing number I have entered is not correct, so that I can re-enter a proper routing number. And now my bank account is properly saved. So now I can go into the Contributions tab on the left. And I can create a contribution. So I would go to the bank account to choose the account I want the money to be pulled from. Under Contributions, I would select whether it's a regular or a rollover. Regular is going to be the most likely option for most contributions, because a rollover contribution would only be used if you've recently withdrawn money from an old HSA or a separate HSA and you're putting it into your Sterling HSA. And this can only be done within 60 days of the withdrawal. After 60 days, you're no longer eligible to make a rollover contribution. So you'll go ahead and select your regular contribution option. You can set the date that you want that money, that transaction to get processed. We'll let it be today's date. And then we enter our contribution amount. That amount for this particular contribution will do $150. Service fee. The service fee column, you can designate money to go towards your account's fees if you wish. It's not necessary, but it will help maximize the use of your contributions, because if you don't designate any service fee money to a separate balance, then we just deduct the service fee from the available balance on your account. This particular person is on the premium account, so that's $875 a month, which would be about $105 a year. I want to make sure I can use all of my contributions and my service fees do not get deducted from my balance. So I will go ahead and enter enough to cover a year's worth of fees. And that will be kept in a separate balance that is solely meant for the fees and that is not actually reported to the IRS, because that is considered a post-tax money just for fees. I'll go ahead and click Save. And my contribution has been created, and it is now under pending. Now, if I know how much I want to contribute a month and I don't want to have to log in every month, I can pre-schedule a few contributions at a time. I just need to make sure I set the date I want those funds pulled out of the account. So let's say I want to make sure 150 gets pulled out every 30th of the month. I can go in and change the date here. And the next contribution, because the 30th is a Sunday, I'm not able to schedule a contribution on a weekend day, so I will go ahead and select the 28th. I will enter the 150 for my contribution amount. Because I've already contributed to the service fees the full amount, I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank. Then I'll go ahead and click Save. And now I can see it as a pending contribution. So I know that the $150 for next month will also get pulled out, and it'll get pulled out on this date. So now that we have our contributions done, let's go over disbursements. Under the disbursements tab, I will get a sub-menu that will show me different options. I can click New Disbursement to start a new disbursement. View Disbursements will allow me to view any disbursements that are pending or that have been processed. Manage Payees. If we click on that Manage Payees tab, it will allow me to enter information for a new provider. This is important because that way, if I want to select the Pay My Provider option, their information is already on file with Sterling so that they can mail out the check. And there's also the Archive Documents and Receipts. This is a good option in case you want to save any receipts for any recent transactions. Normally, when you file a disbursement request, it gives you the option to upload documentation. But if you have an HSA card already and you're using your HSA card to make your payments, you can go into the Archive Documents and Receipts and upload your documentation so that way you have a record on file with us in case you ever misplace the original copy. So let's go through the new disbursement option and we can go through the disbursement process. So for my disbursement, I can file for any amount up unto the available balance. And I have three options. I can select the Pay My Provider, where Sterling Administration will send a check to my provider for a specific expense or bill. I can select the Pay Me by Check. Sterling would send me a check for any expenses I've paid for out of pocket or for an expense that I want the money to come to me and then I'll send to my provider. Or the Pay Me by Direct Deposit. The Pay Me by Direct Deposit is the fastest option because that can usually be processed and sent over to your bank within 3 to 4 business days. Whereas with Pay Me by Check, it does take about 3 to 4 business days for us to actually mail out the check. And then dependent on the U.S. Postal Mail, it could potentially get delayed. So I'll go ahead and select the Pay Me by Direct Deposit option. And the date to begin the processing for a disbursement request is usually the next business day from when you're filing that disbursement. So for us, today is the 30th. It will get processed tomorrow. I'll go ahead and click Continue. And here I can either select a bank account from a previously account that I've entered here, or I can add a new bank account by entering new banking information here. Then we go ahead and click Continue. And with HSAs, we don't require the documentation, so we will just ask for a brief description. So for the date of service, I was at the doctor on Tuesday. It was just the one-day visit. So I will use the same date for my start date and my end date of service. Description of service. I can say office visit if that's what I did, or if I had an x-ray or lab work, I can do a brief description. Under medical code, if it's the descriptions feel like they don't necessarily fit, that's okay. Again, this is just for record-keeping purposes on your account. It's not something that gets reported directly to the IRS, so you can choose any of the options that best fits. If you're doing multiple services all at once, you can always just do medical clinic / outpatient. Then you enter your amount that you would like dispersed to you. And your patient's name, or the name of the person who received the services. Then you go ahead and review your information. And you click Continue. And here you will be given the opportunity to review the disbursement request, the payment preference, direct deposit, the banking information. It shows us the account number and routing number to where we're sending the money to, the details of service that we included in our disbursement. If everything looks good, we can go ahead and click continue, or we can go ahead and click edit disbursement details. If you would like to attach your receipt, this is where you would do so by clicking choose file. If not, you would just go ahead and click submit disbursement. And once your disbursement is submitted, you'll receive a 7-digit transaction number. You can use this as a reference number in case you have questions or need to call customer service in regards to this disbursement request. And if we click on View Disbursements, it will now be listed under the Disbursement section. Now, let's say we want to run a statement for our account just to see what type of activity we've been using our money on. We can go ahead and click Statements. And we can enter whatever date range we want to run our statement to. If we have a question about something really far back, we can even go as far back as, let's say 2016. So let's say we just want to know what our contributions were in 2016. We would enter our date range and we would click Run Statement. And this will generate a PDF file for us, which we can then open and review any account activity for. And here we see a summary of our contributions. If we did disbursements, we would see them here. Now, with this activity statement reporting, if you have questions about multiple years, it is best to run each year separately. So we would do 2016, and then for 17 we would do 1/1/2017 to 12/31/2017. The reason being is you don't want to go and combine multiple years because that will miscalculate any contributions and any IRS limits set. So you want to make sure that if you're, even though you need information for multiple years, you're running each year separately. So now we want to go ahead and retrieve our tax statements for filing our taxes. We would just go to the submenu here under Statements and click Tax Statements. And if we scroll through the bottom of the page, we will have the most current year's tax statements listed below. We have 2018 and 2019 1099 SA, which shows disbursements, money going out of the account, and the 5498 shows the contributions, which is the money coming into the account. So when we click on the PDF icon, it downloads the forms for us. So to avoid any confusion, we do only have the current year forms listed on the account for anything prior to the current year. So if you needed forms for 2017 or prior to that, you will need to contact our customer service department, and they will be more than happy to generate and issue those forms out to you. And you can reach our customer service department by calling 1-800-617-4729, extension 846, or by sending an email to customer.service@sterlingadministration.com. So let's say that we have recently moved or updated our phone number. We need to make sure that we are making those changes onto our Sterling HSA account, because if we have a debit card, for example, and that card is getting set to expire soon, we will automatically issue out a new card to the address on file. So we'll go ahead and click our User Profile tab here. And we want to go ahead and update our address. If we need to make changes to our phone number or email, we would do so here. And once that's correct, we can click Save. And that automatically changes the address of record on your account. If you want to change your password for your account, you would click Change Password here, and you will get a new menu where you can enter a new password. Or if you want to change your security question, you can also do that here. Once you've completed that, you can go ahead and click Save. If you scroll down a little bit lower, you'll see service fees. These service fees is basically your HSA plan type. If dependent on your employer, you have the option to change that plan type. You'll normally see an orange link next to the plan type here that will say Change Plan, and this will generate a drop-down menu where you can select a different plan type. If that's not an option for you, but you are interested in knowing more about some of our other plan types, again, you can always contact our customer service and they can assist you with that information and making the change. And if you scroll a little bit lower, you will see your debit card information. If you have a debit card issued to you, under the card PIN column, you will see an orange link that says Get PIN that you can click on. Before clicking on that, you want to make sure that you have disabled any pop-up blockers so that when the link is clicked on, the pop-up window with your PIN is not blocked. The window will stay open for 30 seconds for you to record your PIN, and then it will close. If you are unable to write that down within that 30-second window, you will have to wait 24 hours before you can log in and click on that link again. The last part is your health plan information. So here you'll have a drop-down menu where you can select your insurance carrier if you've recently changed, your health plan effective date, and the plan type, whether you're single or family. Between single and family, it is very important to let us know that, so that way we can calculate your HSA limits per the IRS regulations. For this current year of 2019, for a single individual, the limit of maximum contribution is $3,500. For a family plan, it is $7,000. So that way it's very important for us to know this, so that way we can help you better calculate how much you should be contributing on a monthly basis. Now, on the left, you also have your beneficiaries tab. This will show you any beneficiaries you have listed on your account. If you don't have anyone listed, you can always complete a paper form and send it back to us. And to do that, you would just click on this link here. And the beneficiary would be the person that we would give any available balance to on the account in the event that something were to happen to you. And you would just need to complete this form here, and you could send it right over to us via fax to the number here, the 1-877-517-4729, or you can email it over to our customer service team at customer.service@sterlingadministration.com. The next tab we show is the Dependents tab. And this one is very important because let's say you recently were married and you wanted to add your spouse to your account and get them a debit card. You don't have to call our customer service team. You can do it directly through the website. If you come across any issues, of course, you can always give them a call and they'd be happy to assist you. And the reason we ask for the spouse's social security number is so that way when they call in and retrieve their balance, we can locate their account more easily in case they have a very common name like John Smith. And here I can select if you want a debit card issued to them or not. And then once I've entered the information, if everything looks correct, I can click Save. And they are now in the system. Let's say I am now divorced and want to make sure that person gets removed from my account right away. I would go ahead and click the Remove button here. Click Save. As long as I'm okay with that question, I can just hit OK. And now that person is no longer listed on my account as a dependent. This is all the relevant information on the online access page for an individual account holder with an HSA. If you have any additional questions in regards to anything we've reviewed today, you can always give us a call at 1-800-617-4729, extension 846, or you can send us an email at customer.service@sterlingadministration.com. Thank you again for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of your week.